Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. Today I have for you fun, creative, and colorful DIY picnic accessories made primarily from Dollar Tree materials. I thought it would be a fun and unique idea to create pretty yet functional items to dress up your picnic table for picnics at the beach or at the park, at the campground, or for your backyard table. I created mine in a colorful watermelon theme, but these items could be done creatively in other themes and colors and patterns as well. I have here a plasticware caddy, a salt and pepper holder, a platter, a trivet/cutting board, and a napkin holder. Welcome back to my subscribers and to all visiting my channel today. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy my content, perhaps share with others, and subscribe if you are not currently a subscriber to my channel. Okay, let me show you how I easily created these colorful summery items for a picnic table. I have here some vinyl sheets that I had purchased on Temu. When I received them from Temu, which unfortunately took about 2 weeks, that's the downside of Temu, but I actually love the watermelon vinyl sheets. They come in 6 different watermelon patterns and all complementary to one another. Now, I use these vinyl sheets on my DIY accessories. However, you could use a watermelon print scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby or a fabric in a watermelon print. And you could do it just as beautifully and just as simply with the scrapbook paper or the fabric. You're just going to Mod Podge that on and then cover it up with a couple of coats of Mod Podge after it's all applied to the pieces. I have here a napkin holder, which I had purchased in the past on Amazon. Now, I am going to suggest that if you don't have anything like this already to dress up in a watermelon theme print, I guess you could call it, you might want to search for something like this at a thrift store, or I'm going to suggest that you make it with wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. Now, this would not be difficult to do. You could do it with Jenga blocks. You could do it, or tumbling tower blocks, whatever you want to call them. Or you could do it with just some of the pieces of wood that they sell in the Crafter's Square section at the Dollar Tree. I am going to include in the description box the exact dimensions of this box. Now, also, if you happen to know someone that's very handy, it's a very simple box to create. So perhaps you could solicit someone to do that for you. So there are different options for that napkin holder. I have here 2 glass, they call them cutting boards from the Dollar Tree, but I ended up using round ones, and they were clear glass. So you would need 2 of those from the kitchen ware section at the Dollar Tree. And with those, I'm going to create, it can be used as a cutting board or a trivet to place perhaps a platter with hot food that just came off the grill. I have here some wood tubing or cylinders, and these you could get from a gift wrap roll if you happen to have that in your home. There's the gift wrap, the finer gift wrap, let's put it that way, usually has very sturdy cardboard rolls. So you might try that. If not, you can acquire these cardboard tubes on Amazon. So I have 3 cardboard tubing pieces there. They're 4 inches high and 2 inches in diameter. As you can see there, I did spray paint the insides of the tops of those 3 cardboard tubes. That's going to serve as the caddy for the plasticware. I have here a wood piece from the Dollar Tree. It's 5 inches in diameter. I took it outside and spray painted it red, or you could hand paint it with a red acrylic paint. Easy enough to do either way. And I'm showing you here, those are 2 inches. Now you would want at least 2-inch in diameter cardboard rolls or cylinders, whatever you want to call them, just so that you can fit a good amount of plasticware in each of those. So obviously knives, forks, and spoons. I have there 3 wood beads that are open on one end. I ended up using those purely ornamentally on the piece, and I sprayed those red. And for the feet, I used some of those little square wood cubes that you see there resting on that glass trivet or cutting board, and I sprayed those red as well. So I used those for feet, but you could use beads, and that's color shot paint in the color Stiletto. I wish I could remember where I got that paint, but I can't seem to remember. But it's a really excellent paint, but you could use Rust-Oleum as spray paint as well. Or like I mentioned, you could just paint them by hand with a paintbrush and some acrylic paint. Now I have here a wood slice that they come in the wood item department at Hobby Lobby. And I love these watermelon slices. I use them on a couple of the different accessories for in this video. I'm going to use that as well on top of the napkin holder. Now there's that spray paint, Color Shot it's called, and it's in the color Stiletto. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure out how much I need to cover my wood cylinders. And that can be done easily by placing the cylinder on whatever it is you're going to use, whether it's fabric or scrapbook paper, or in my case, the vinyl. And you're going to need 4 inches in length, and that's as tall as those cardboard tubings. Now, if you cut cardboard tubes that you have that the greeting, or the, I'm sorry, not the greeting paper, the gift wrap paper comes on, you just use an X-Acto knife or a razor knife. And that's easy enough to cut those in 4-inch long sections. Right now, I'm just measuring that off in 4-inch sections. And then I'll cut that with my scissors. And those pieces I'm going to be wrapping around each of my cardboard tubings. Now, if you're using the scrapbook paper or the fabric, it's okay to have them all 3 in the same pattern. That will still look really, really super cute. So I use 3 different patterns for mine, but that's just because I had them available. But I think they would look just really awesome using the fabric or the scrapbook paper, as I mentioned. Okay, so to adhere, whatever it is you use, scrapbook paper, fabric, or the vinyl sheets. Again, those are from Temu. I'm going to just adhere those with Mod Podge, and I'm just going to do it in small sections. I apply about 1 inch or so, maybe 2 inches wide of Mod Podge to the cardboard tube, and then I'm just going to begin wrapping it around. Now, when I did mine, I made sure to start my wrap, if you will, at the top of the tube where I had spray painted the inside. I didn't spray paint the inside of the bottom of the cardboard tubing. So you want to, I started mine by just wrapping it around, getting everything even around the top of the tubing. And then anything I had to trim up, I just trimmed it up on the bottom. So I just wrapped all three. And again, I used, of course, the vinyl sheets, which are really awesome because you can wipe them. But you can also put a couple of layers of Mod Podge on the scrapbook paper or the fabric, and that will seal it so that you could wipe it off if need be. Now I have my 5-inch in diameter piece of wood, and I am going to further embellish my plasticware caddy by placing another one of the patterns of the watermelon vinyl on top of that piece of wood. And I'm going to place it on the side of the piece that's not painted so that it's finished on the bottom. So I just took my scissors and I cut that out, and I'm going to Mod Podge that on just the same as I did the vinyl on the cardboard tubing. Now this piece comes out super, super cute. I also took a 2.5-inch wood ring that I got in a package in Crafter's Square section from the Dollar Tree. I spray painted it red, and as you're going to see here in just a bit, I glued it with E6000 to the top of my caddy to serve as a kind of a handle. And you'll see that here in just a minute. So I'm just smoothing out that vinyl on that wood round. And then I'm going to apply my 3 cylinders on top of that. And I'm going to take Aleene's tacky glue and go around the bottom of each of those the cardboard, cylinders. And I'm just going to simply glue that right on top of that wood round. Now, I was sure to place my seams toward the inside. That way it would hide those seams completely where the vinyl met once I wrapped it around. Now, you can use tacky glue as well to just put a little glue on the back of those tubings or those cylinders and kind of glue them together as well. Once I did that, I put clips on it just to hold it until it dried. Now here's that little 2.5-inch wood ring that, again, I purchased at the Dollar Tree. I used E6000 to glue that on because I wanted to be sure it was on really, really well. So I glued it on with E6000, and that worked like a charm. Now I painted those 3 red beads. Again, they're only open. There's only a hole on one side, so the top of the bead is finished. So I just placed them on the wood round in between each of the cardboard cylinders. It's, again, just purely ornamental, and it's certainly not necessary to do this part, but you'll see how I place them on there, and it looked cute. I also, before, and I should have mentioned this, I'm sorry, before I put the cardboard tubing on, I glued my little square blocks to the bottom. I glued 3 of them to serve as feet on that piece. And look how cute that turned out for so little money. So you could see here where I'm putting my red beads, and it just adds a little something to the piece. And I just used Aleene's tacky glue to glue that down. And that's pretty much it for this piece. So I did this very simply by just wrapping the cardboard cylinders or the cardboard tubing, whatever you want to call it, sprayed the inside of the tubing, spray painted the wood base, glued on the feet, glued on the red ring on the top, and there you have it. A super cute, very lightweight, cute piece to put on your picnic table to hold your plasticware. I think this turned out so cute. And there you have it. I love it. I just set everything aside to dry because I was working on my other pieces at the same time, kind of just, cutting things out and spray painting things and whatever. I was kind of like bouncing back and forth in between pieces. So you could see that I had already done the napkin holder, which I'm going to show you how I did that. But now I'm moving on to those round glass. It's called cutting boards in the Dollar Tree kitchen department. But what I'm going to be doing quite simply is just taking a sponge applicator from the Dollar Tree, and I even have Mod Podge from the Dollar Tree, and just putting a nice generous layer. And now these glass cutting boards, they have a textured side and a smooth side. I put the smooth side against the watermelon vinyl. So that would mean that the textured side is going to be facing up. You could do it the opposite if you wanted to. It really doesn't make a big difference. Now, again, you can use your scrapbook paper. I love that watermelon print scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just placing that glass piece on top of the piece that I covered. And then I'm going to just go around the edge with my Aleene's tacky glue and put just a stream of glue to seal the edges. You'll see me doing that here. Now, if you use scrapbook paper or the fabric, this is my favorite method. After you put the Mod Podge on, let it completely dry. Then, after it does, place your fabric or your scrapbook paper. Put a piece of parchment paper on it. Use either a dry iron with no steam, or I have my little mini Cricut iron there. And that reactivates the Mod Podge, and that works beautifully. Then you can take a piece of sandpaper or a zip sander and just trim off the edges. And there you have a super cute piece, which you can use for a cutting board, or you can use it to place perhaps a plate or a platter. There, I'm showing you how I just went around the edges, put a stream of Aleene's tacky glue to seal those two pieces together. Now, you could put feet on this if you want to by using red beads or using those little wood blocks. You could put feet on that if you like. All right, so now we're going to do the salt and pepper shaker holder. I have here some Jenga blocks, and I have 2 of the watermelon wedges that I mentioned that I got at Hobby Lobby. I used 8 Jenga blocks, and I lined up 6 of them and then 2 across the end to create a little palette, if you will, for the bottom of my salt and pepper shaker holder. I'm just going to use Gorilla wood glue to adhere those Jenga pieces all together. Now, here's that ring that I was mentioning before. I used 2 of the 2.5-inch rings, plus I used two 2-inch rings, and they have these readily available at the Dollar Tree. Now you see I'm going to be gluing together I use Gorilla Wood Glue. I love Gorilla Wood Glue. I'm going to glue 6 across, and then I'm going to take 2 and glue them on the ends, as you see me doing here. After I have these all glued together and they're dry, I'm going to spray paint those. But again, you could just use acrylic paint and paint it with a paintbrush. But I'm showing you here that I spray painted my wood rings as well. Now I ended up adding the 2-inch wood rings later on, and I'll show you that. So here's the little feet for my little palette that's going to serve as the bottom or the base of my salt and pepper shaker holder. So I'm just going to glue on the feet. I remember to do that before placing anything else on this piece. I think I used Gorilla Wood Glue to put those feet on. Now I'm going to be gluing those watermelon wedges, or the half watermelon wood pieces, which are so pretty and so inexpensive. You could pick those up at Hobby Lobby. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, most of these items are from the Dollar Tree, but obviously the napkin holder was one that I purchased, but I suggested to do that out of jenga blocks or some of the wood pieces from the Dollar Tree. There are substitute items to use on these projects. So I'm trying to offer you ideas for that. And for the most part, you could just get most everything at the Dollar Tree if you wanted to save the money on those items. So I'm going to use some Gorilla Wood Glue, and I'm going to glue on my watermelon wedges. Now I began by placing them so that when you had the piece resting on the table, the watermelon wedges also rested on the table, but I ended up moving them up a little bit higher on the piece. Now, that's up to you, but the reason why that I did that, and you're going to see that here in just a minute, is because I wanted a means to keep the salt and pepper shakers sitting on the platform. If you were to, say, for example, carry them, so that the shakers would be more supported, in plain words. So I just used my Gorilla Wood Glue, as you can see there, and I glued my watermelon wedges right to that little palette that I created with the Jenga blocks. Now I made sure that I didn't have any wood glue seeping up from the sides. I didn't. That wood glue, sometimes if you have excess, you'll see it later on when it dries, and I just don't like the look of that. So I was careful to wipe everything and make sure everything was nice and neat after I glued my piece. Now, I originally was going to put those wood rings on each end, but what I ended up doing was changing my mind, which is nothing unusual for me creatively when I'm doing a piece, because I've said this before, I generally basically fly by the seat of my pants and make it up as I go along and just have fun with the creative process. So I ended up putting the 2.5-inch wood rings that I had painted on each side of the watermelon slice. And this helped to provide a stability for the salt and pepper shakers once they're in the caddy. Then I took the 2-inch ones and I put them on the ends, and I'll show you that a little bit more here in a minute. But what I'm going to show you now is I purchased one of the plastic platters in the, it's in the section where like the party goods are. I had a green one and I got a clear one. I wasn't really sure which one I was going to use, but Dollar Tree, and again, that was the platters from Dollar Tree, but Dollar Tree also has these so pretty watermelon napkins. I love these. So I had the idea to create a watermelon platter. So I have some Mod Podge that you could pick up at the Dollar Tree, and you're going to separate the napkin and take off the bottom ply, and you'll need a sponge applicator, and this is going to be super easy to do. You know, sometimes it can be tricky to get that started, but I ended up doing it. And you're just going to pull off that underside or that ply of the napkin. And you're just going to place it on. I did one on the green and it looked good, but I think I liked the one on the clear platter a little bit better. But that's up to you if you want to do this project. So what I did was I centered my napkin on that platter, and it left about a 1/2 inch of platter showing around the edges, and that was fine with me. Either if you use the green or the clear, it still will look good. So I put something down to weight the napkin so it didn't move around when I was beginning the process of putting on my napkin in the Mod Podge. So I started at one end, and I did this in sections. I placed about 1 inch wide in sections on the platter, and then I applied my napkin very carefully and very slowly. But this was quite satisfying. I really enjoyed it. I love doing projects with Mod Podge. I just love it, whether it's scrapbook paper or fabric or a napkin. I just love doing this. So again, small sections. I pull my napkin back. I put down a layer of Mod Podge in 1 inch sections, and then I fold the napkin back over, gently allow it to go into the Mod Podge on the plate. Then I take my fingertip and just tap. You'll see me doing this here. I do it very, very gently. This is a napkin, so you're going to have to be careful. Very, very gently, I just take my finger and tap it. Now, you'll have a little tiny bit of wrinkles here, but you'll find that if you just continue to tap your finger as you go with each section, that it will end up looking really, really super cute in the end. Now, after you get this completely on the platter, let it completely dry. Then you can place 2 to 3 coats of Mod Podge on top of that napkin after it's dry. And this way it will protect the napkin and you will be able to even wipe it off. So this platter, obviously you're not going to use for anything hot, but you certainly could use it for other items, for your picnic, cookies or chips or buns, anything like that that isn't a hot temperature, obviously. So this turned out super cute. Give it a try. We're only talking like $1.25 here, And the napkins, you can use the rest of them on your picnic table. Now, for my napkin holder, I used the standard size napkins that you get in a package. I wouldn't be, and I'm going to show you here what I did. Now, again, I mentioned I had gotten this on Amazon at some point in time. So because I had it, I wanted to just dress it up a little bit with that watermelon vinyl. Now, if you have something like this, you could do the same thing. I just cut my vinyl to fit in the bottom of my napkin holder. Now, again, I could suggest look for something like this in the thrift store. Or, like I mentioned, if you know somebody that can make a simple wood box, even place the little piece on top with a hinge. And it's really, really easy to make. I'm going to put the dimensions for that napkin holder in the description box. Now, I decided to place also a piece of matching, not matching, but complementary piece of vinyl that would go very well with the vinyl that I used in the bottom. And I put that right on that top piece that holds the napkins down. Now I use Mod Podge to get my vinyl to adhere to the bottom of my napkin holder. Again, if you had scrapbook paper, you could do the same thing here. Just cut the scrapbook paper or the fabric, put it in the bottom. After it completely dries, put a couple of layers of Mod Podge to seal it. And it works just very well like that. Now, I did place another one of those watermelon, I keep calling them wedges, but that's the only thing I could think of to call them at the moment. I did place one of those on top of the napkin holder with the piece on top of the piece that rests on the napkins to keep them from blowing away, which is very, very nice to have, especially if you go to the beach. Say that you don't have your napkins blowing away into the ocean or up in a palm tree somewhere. You could tell I live in Florida, right? Okay, so this works just as well if you live anywhere. So, going on a picnic at the park, or these accessories would be really cute on your table in the backyard for grilling out. I just thought it was a cute, fun, but yet functional idea to dress up your table for picnicking. Maybe you're having a birthday or a party with some guests and you want to just make your table look nice. Now, I was trying to decide how I wanted to put my watermelon wedge, and I ended up putting it like that, and I just glued that on there. So collectively, everything just turned out super cute. There's just something about a watermelon print that just screams summer. And I thought it would be just such a great idea to create these watermelon accessories. I added a little bit of hot glue just to reinforce that. The vinyl is thicker than a fabric or a scrapbook paper, so that step wouldn't probably not have been necessary had you used scrapbook paper or fabric. And again, I think that any of those materials would look fabulous on these projects. Any pertinent information regarding any of these projects, any of these pieces, I'm going to put all the dimensions for everything in the description box. And here you have all of the pieces, and look how cute. this turned out. I'm showing you here the pieces without the plasticware, without the salt and pepper shaker. There's that piece that you can use for a cutting board, or again to place something hot. And here you have it with the napkins and the salt and pepper shaker and the plasticware. And I think everything just turned out super cute. I thought it was a kind of a unique idea, something to think about making for your picnic needs. All right. You all take care.